I know you want to live that successful entrepreneur life where you wake up early and do the work, you have that business that's booming in revenue, and the thing is, you're always taking action towards a goal. You know there's only one simple step to get there, my bro, and that's through affirmations. You see, not too long ago, I'd always let my negative thoughts and desires get the better of me. Do you know how many times I'll do these instant gratification activities where I'd have short-term pleasure but long-term pain? The amount of times I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna wake up early and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. However, the next day rolled around and I would lie in my bed, I'll do nothing. There's been countless times where I said, yeah, I need to do this and I need to do that. Then when the day comes, I can't be asked. Do you know how many times I told myself I'm gonna go on a no sugar diet? I'll not eat this, I'll not eat that. But then the next day, I'll have that cake or I'll drink that Coca-Cola. The reason why I'd often listen to my desires is because I allowed my lizard brain to become so powerful and potent. So then my desires would get the better of me and I would eat that junk food or I'll do this. And this wasn't an overnight process. This was the consequence of poor decisions by myself over my lifetime. Thus, every time there was a decision, delayed gratification or instant gratification, I'd pick the latter. As a result of these poor decisions, my lizard brain got stronger and stronger to the point that I couldn't resist my desires. However, I was thinking there must be a way out. There are people so disciplined in this world, where they say they'll do something and they do it. You see, I was watching a lot of content from these influencers like Tate, Hamza, Justin Waller, so I began to study them. And one thing in common they all had is that they never allowed their lizard brain to get the better of them. They never let their desires beat them. And the way they did this was through positive affirmations. Yes, I'm going to work. Yes, I'll go to the gym. Yes, I'm going to eat healthy. And over the years, their lizard brain would become so weak and docile. By October time 2023, I was like, you know what? I need to fix my life. I can't keep living like this. So I began waking up early and dedicating myself to this TikTok channel. And the thing is, the vast majority of mornings I didn't want to wake up. I was tired, I couldn't be asked. However, when I woke up, I would always tell myself, it's time to work, it's time to be disciplined, it's time to beat the competition. I would always tell myself these positive affirmations which would make me less likely to go back to sleep. And so for the vast majority of mornings, I'd say 95%, I'd sit down and do work. And of course at the start it was hard, it was very hard. Do you know how many times I'd wake up, do a bit of work and go back to sleep? Or I'd just go back to sleep. Or sometimes I'd stay up the whole morning. So I was very inconsistent with it. Some days yes, some days no. However, those mornings that I did wake up at 5 or 6 a.m, it was due to the positive affirmations. Because I told myself, no, you're not going to sleep. You're going to stay up and do work. It's time to be disciplined. Even to nowadays, I continuously tell myself positive affirmations. Like this morning, I was so tired, I didn't have much sleep, but I was like, you know what, just sit down and do some work. Or for example, when I wrote this script a couple days ago, I was like to myself, just show up. Just sit down and show up and see what you can do. And the thing is, this helped me because I reached the flow while writing the script. Or the other day, when I had to sit down and edit this big YouTube video. And you know, editing's very tedious and difficult. You have to condense this big file into such a small video with all these mistakes, all these things you need to see. And it was like 4 p.m. I already ate my first meal of the day with some carbs. I already checked my phone, so I wasn't mentally as sharp. However, to bypass this, I just told myself, just show up at your desk and sit down. Just sit down for 30 to 40 minutes without your phone and see what you can do. I told myself, even if you sit down and only condense the first 2 minutes of the video, that's still progress. You can still call yourself disciplined. And guess what happened? I was able to do 5 minutes. Basically half of the video. The same thing happened when I came back from eating my second meal of the day. I was like to myself, you know what, just sit down and do a little bit of work. And I told myself, even if I sit down and only do 1 minute worth of work, that's better than nothing. But you know what happened? I completed the video. All I had to do after was do the thumbnail. You see, this is very powerful and I apply this mentality to everything. It helps you make faster progress towards your goals because it makes that task, that big task, more accomplishable because you make it look smaller than it is. Instead of saying to yourself, I need to condense this 1 hour file into 10 minutes, you say, just do 2 minutes, just do 3 minutes. If you tell yourself, just show up and do the bare minimum, you're more likely to do that task and be productive because you're going to view that task with positivity. You're going to say, yeah, I can do this. So in this way, you can trick your lizard brain into doing work. However, if I told myself I need to do this, then I need to do that, I'd overwhelm myself. And then I'll procrastinate and I'll be like, no, I can't be asked. Because the thing is, yeah, when something is so daunting and big, you don't want to do it because you feel like you can't do it. It's the same way, yeah, a lot of people say just show up to the gym. Because if you tell yourself, I'll just show up and do one exercise, you're more likely to actually go to the gym. However, if you're tired, yeah, and you're like, I need to do back today, I need to do this, I need to do that, you'll be like, I can't be asked, CBA to go. As the latter will seem so daunting for someone who can't be asked, who's tired, who doesn't feel like it. You're going to think to yourself, I need to go to the gym 1 hour, do all of these exercises, do that exercise, do that exercise. It's going to seem overwhelming. Like the other day, I simply didn't want to exercise, but I told myself, just show up to the bench press and see what you can do. And guess what happened? I completed the whole workout. The reason for this is because when you do that work, you may have a good idea, or you may get into a state of flow, or when you go to the gym, you may catch a pump. So you're like, you know what? Let me continue. There has never been a time where I'm like, you know what? Let me sit down and do 2 minutes worth of work, or let me do one exercise and I just do that and leave. I always go the extra mile. It's simply a way of defeating your lizard brain and getting more disciplined. Because making the bar so low makes the task much easier to complete. And it also makes you think positively of the task. Because instead of saying, I need to go to the gym and do all these exercises, you just say to yourself, do one exercise. So it seems more accomplishable. Instead of saying, I need to script 3 YouTube videos, you tell yourself, just write 100 words. It seems way easier. Therefore, you convince your lizard brain to do it because it seems so much easier. Because the thing is, yeah, when you tell yourself, do the bare minimum, but you actually complete the task, you experience a positive feedback loop. This is because when you tell yourself these affirmations and you do the work, you naturally become more disciplined because you slowly but surely defeat that lizard brain and make it less potent and powerful. This is because you'll have a track record of completing the hard tasks. And you'll tell yourself, you know what, I've done it for the last 3-4 days, I can do it today. So then you experience this cycle where you become even more disciplined. And so over time, certain tasks will become less daunting and much easier. To the extent that going to the gym, even if you tell yourself it's leg day, you'll still do it. You don't need those affirmations. Don't get me wrong, nowadays I still get these thoughts, go back to sleep, oh, this is long, this is hard. Even the most